Good morning all. So far as thoughts of the day are concerned, these are such terrible, depressing and worrying times that whatever comes to my mind in the next few minutes, I feel inclined to try to promote a couple of laughs by relating two really stupid old thoughts for the day. First one, never play leapfrog with a unicorn. And second, if at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you. So much rubbish. Napoleon Bonaparte said, "Give me a boy until he is 10 and his character will be formed for the rest of his life." There may be some substance in his comment. By the time I was 10, 1926, I had a powerful inbuilt awareness of right and wrong that has been strongly entrenched in my mind to this day. I always had an underlying inhibition and apprehension of policemen, priests, teachers, my parents and my aunts, but never my uncles. I always got on well with them. It was the women with their hats and veils and long gloves who always seemed to be much bossier than the men. Church has always been a strong and regular part of my life. Even in the Royal Navy, where Sundays are observed almost as an obsession, with parades, inspections, protocol and services, except of course when at sea or in action. The Royal Navy is a religious, superstitious and esoteric service, in some cases adhering to customs and traditions of hundreds of years ago. For example, every sailor, from Admiral of the Fleet to second-class boy, salutes as he steps aboard a British warship. He is not saluting the ship, the captain, the Admiralty, nor even the monarch. He is saluting the quarterdeck, where in the very old days of sail, a crucifix and the communion host were positioned and stored. Even the jolliest of Jacks, when staggering back aboard after an inebriated run ashore, remembers to salute as he steps inboard. One of the great anomalies that a sailor takes for granted is that when he sees a projectile that he loaded into a gun explode an enemy ship, blowing men and metal to pieces, everybody cheers. And then, in accordance with the rule of the sea, you hasten to rescue enemy survivors who minutes before were trying to kill you from the cruel sea. Wrap them up in blankets and ply them with strong rum and hot cocoa. Reverent as the Royal Navy is, the commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," does not coincide with the Royal Navy's sole duty of protecting the realm. It is difficult to equate your conscience with your duty, particularly nowadays for the ship's company and the nuclear submarine, or indeed from any serviceman. I confess that I find myself bewildered. I generally want to be good and abide by the word of the Lord as I have been taught. But although I say in my regular and frequent prayers, "As we forgive those who trespass against us," I often have in mind the old Irish adage, "You should hold your temper until it is detrimental to do so." And I know in my inner heart that I would very seriously react if my nearest and dearest were harmed. The bulk of my schooling was in the 1920s, when corporal punishment, impositions and detention were an integral part of education. School uniform and clean shoes were an accepted part of life, and it may well be that I'm still subconsciously guided by it. Indeed, one of our priests, our friend Father David, asked me, "How many ties do you have, Harry?" "I don't know. How many stars in the sky?" I suppose that the fact is, if I was attending for a job interview, I would be formally and appropriately dressed. Therefore, to my simple and devout mind, when I enter God's house, as I view church, I am going for an interview with God. Some people think that there is a good side to everything. It's a premise that I have always doubted. However, all throughout my long life, nations have always been at war or disagreed. This wicked coronavirus seemed to have led nations to communicate and jointly and universally seek to combat the scourge. Of course, such worldwide harmony will not last. If and when the virus is defeated, universal faction will again rear its ugly head, and greed, profit, commerce and power will again be the driving force of arrogant and avaricious men. They have my sympathy. Money and power do not necessarily bring happiness. It is among the ranks of those who prize honour and virtue above the external advantages of rank and fortune that true uncontentious happiness is found. So, when you go into your own little home, remember the words of the old music hall song, "Be it so humble, there's no place like home." And as I now look across at my beloved Collet, hoping for some sign of approval, I wish you all the serenity and happiness with which the good Lord has blessed me. And I pray that He will forgive me for the small, weak sinner that I am. God bless you all, and thank you for listening to me. My thought for the day: always count your blessings. Bereft as you may be, there are always others worse off than you.